Overtone singing, also known as overtone chanting, harmonic singing. The throat singing is a type of singing in which the singer manipulates the resonances created as air travels from the lungs, past the vocal folds, and out of the lips to produce a melody. The harmonics of a sound wave made by the human voice can be selectively amplified by changing the shape of the resonant cavities of the mouth, larynx and pharynx. This resonant tuning allows singers to create apparently more than one pitch at the same time, while actually generating only a single fundamental frequency with the vocal folds. Asia, Mongolia and Buryatia. It is thought that the art of overtone singing originated from southwestern Mongolia in today's Khovd province and Govi Altai region. Nowadays, overtone singing is found throughout the country, and Mongolia is often considered the most active place of overtone singing in the world. The most commonly practiced style, kumi, can be divided up into the following categories: Uralian, labial kumi; Tagnain, palatal kumi; Cameron, nasal kumi; Bagalzuran, kuloin, glottal, throat kumi; Sijian, kondian, kevlaan, chest cavity, stomach kumi; Tulita, kosmolging kumi, kumi combined with long song. Mongolians also sing many other styles such as karkira and izchri. Many of these styles are also practiced around neighboring regions such as Tuva and Altai. Tuvan overtone singing is practiced by the Tuva people of southern Siberia, Russia. The history of Tuvan overtone singing reaches very far back. There is a wide range of vocalizations, including Sijit, Kargira, Kume, Chilandai, Dumchuktar, and Azinjailia. Most of these styles are closely related to the styles and variations in neighboring Mongolia, Altai and Khakassia, Tuva's neighboring Russian regions, the Altai Republic to the west, and Khakassia to the northwest, have developed forms of throat singing called kai or kai. In Altai, this is used mostly for epic poetry performance, to the accompaniment of top shore. Altai narrators perform in Kargira, Kume and Sijit styles, which are similar to Tuvan. They also have their own style of very high harmonics, emerging from Kargira. Variations of kai are called Karkara, Sibiski, Home and Sijit. The first well-known kai was Kalkan, Chachi Peninsula. The Chachi people of Chachi Peninsula in the extreme northeast of Russia also practice a form of throat singing. Tibetan Buddhist chanting is a subgenre of throat singing, mainly practiced by monks of Tibet, including Qinghai Province, Tibetan Plateau area, Tibetan monks of Nepal, Bhutan, India and various locations in the Himalayan region. Most often the chants hold to the lower pitches possible in throat singing. Various ceremonies and prayers call for throat singing in Tibetan Buddhism, often with more than one monk chanting at a time. There are different Tibetan throat singing styles, such as Gurkha style with the lowest pitch of voice, the Dzogkhanjaya, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan. The oral poetry of Kazakhstan and the Uzbek region of Karakalpakstan sometimes enters the realm of throat singing. Pakistan, Iran and Afghanistan. Baluchi Nuasur is one of the ancient forms of overtone singing and is still popular in parts of Pakistan, Iran and Afghanistan, especially in the Suleiman Mountains. Hokkaido. The Ainu of Hokkaido once practiced a type of throat singing called Rikukara, which is now extinct. The last singer of Rikukara died in 1976, but there are some recordings left. Europe. Sardinia. On the island of Sardinia, especially in the subregion of Barbagia, one of the two different styles of polyphonic singing is marked by the use of a throaty voice. This kind of song is called a tenor. The other style, known as concordo, does not use throat singing. A tenor is practiced by groups of 4 male singers, each of whom has a distinct role. The oche is the solo voice, while the mesu contra and basu, listed in descending pitch order, form a chorus. Bosch and mesu sing in a regular voice, whereas contra and basu sing with a technique affecting the larynx. In 2005, UNESCO classed the canto a tenor among intangible world heritage. Among the most well-known groups who perform a tenor are tenors.The, tenors.Rose, tenors.Oniferi and tenors.Ni only. Northern Europe. The Sami people of the northern parts of Sweden, Norway, Finland and the Kola Peninsula in Russia have a singing genre called yoik. While overtone techniques are not a defining feature of yoik, individuals sometimes utilize overtones in the production of yoik. Bashkortostan. The Bashkirs of Bashkortostan, Russia have a style of overtone singing called uzlau, which nearly died out. In addition, Bashkorts also sing uzli while playing the kuri, a national instrument. This technique of vocalizing into a flute can also be found in folk music as far west as the Balkans and Hungary. North America. Inuit. The resurgence of a once-dying Inuit tradition called Katijak is currently underway in Canada. Inuit throat singing was a form of entertainment among Inuit women while the men were away on hunting trips. It was an activity that was primarily done by Inuit women, though men also did it. In the Inuit language Inuktitut, throat singing is called Katijak, Pirkuzatak and Naipakat depending on the Canadian Arctic region. It was regarded more as a type of vocal or breathing game in the Inuit culture rather than a form of music. Inuit throat singing is generally done by 2 individuals but can involve 4 or more people together as well. In Inuit throat singing, 2 Inuit women would face each other either standing or crouching down while holding each other's arms. One would lead with short deep rhythmic sounds while the other would respond. The leader would repeat sounds with short gaps in between. The follower would fill in these gaps with her own rhythmic sounds. Sometimes, both Inuit women would be doing a dance-like movement like rocking from left to right while throat singing. The practice is compared more to a game or competition than to a musical style. In the game, Inuit women sit or stand face-to-face and create rhythmic patterns. Africa. South Africa. Some Thambukosa women of South Africa have a low, rhythmic style of throat singing, similar to the Tuvan Kagira style, that is called Ungkakolo. It is often accompanied by call and response vocals and complicated polyrhythms. Non-traditional styles. Canada, United States and Europe. The 1920s Texan singer of cowboy songs, Arthur Miles, independently created a style of overtone singing similar to Sujit. As a supplement to the normal yodeling of country western music, Blind Willie Johnson, also of Texas, is not a true overtone singer according to the National Geographic, but his ability to shift from guttural grunting noises to a soft lullaby is suggestive of the tonal timbres of overtone singing. Starting in the 1960s, some musicians in the West either have collaborated with traditional throat singers or ventured into the realm of throat singing and overtone singing, or both. Some made original musical contributions and helped this art rediscover its transcultural universality. As harmonics are universal to all physical sounds, the notion of authenticity is best understood in terms of musical quality. Musicians of note in this genre include Collegium Vocal Köln, Michael Vetter, David Hikes, Jill Puss, Jim Cole, Ry Cooder, Paul Pena. Steve Sklar and Kiva, composer Bertursi and his group Prana with Krishna Das. Canadian songwriter Nathan Rogers has become an adept throat singer and teaches Tuvan throat singing in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Paul Pena was featured in the documentary Genghis Blues, which tells the story of his pilgrimage to Tuva to compete in their annual throat singing competition. The film won the Documentary Award at the 1999 Sundance Film Festival, and was nominated for an Oscar in 2000. Tuvan singer Sainko Namchilak has collaborated with free jazz musicians such as Evan Parker and Ned Rothenberg. Lester Bowie and Ornette Coleman worked with the tenors .The, and Eleanor Hovda has written a piece using the Kosa style of singing. DJs and performers of electronic music like the KLF have also merged the music with throat singing, overtone singing, or with the theory of harmonics behind it. A cappella singer Avi Kaplan also exhibited overtone singing during his group's performances. He merged throat singing together with dubstep a cappella. Several contemporary classical composers have incorporated overtone singing into their works. Karl-Heinz Stockhausen was one of the first, with Stimmung in 1968. Past Life Melodies for SAT Big Chorus by Australian composer Sarah Hopkins also calls for this technique. In Water Passion After Street, Matthew by Tan Dun, the soprano and bass soloists sing in a variety of techniques including overtone singing of the Mongolian style. Overtone singing can be heard in the hum whistle. A hum whistle, or otherwise known as whistle hum, creates a high pitch and low pitch simultaneously. The two-tone sound is related to field holler, overtone singing, and yodeling. India ethnomusicologist John Levy recorded a Rajasthani singer who used overtones to imitate a jaw harp and a double flute. There is no tradition of this style of singing there.